Carmine Peace, who played drums in the Stewart Band, and there are other stories I have to tell you about other people, but the Stewart Band was definitely the funniest outfit I was ever in. Carmine Peace, that's him now. No, that was in time.
That was in time. It couldn't have been him then.
I thought that was Carl Palmer, wasn't it?
Couldn't be Carmine. Carmine, for whatever reason, he would autograph a half a dozen drumsticks, and after his drum solo, when the crowd were on its foot, he would run down from the drum riser with these half a dozen drumsticks and throw them out into the crowd for their adulation and taking a bit of a bow. Well, we all thought this was horribly cheesy, so as the Sex Police were in charge of absolutely everything that went on the road, we hatched a plan. The next time he went to the front of the stage and duly tossed out his half a dozen drumsticks, there were 8 or 10 of the road crew who had at least 100 sticks each, and threw the 100 sticks each at Carmine and covered him in a pile of drumsticks. And he stood there not knowing what to do. The drumsticks all over the stage, and the band all just, of course, laughed. I'm sorry, we just laughed. Good luck, Carmine.
Similar to one of my early tours, Gene Pitney. One of the really early
You
days.
really are old, aren't you?
Fucking terrible.
Chris is 107.
I thought I was old with 109.
No, he's older than you.
Gene Pitney used to end his show by just before the come on, and he'd throw his jacket off. And of course, the last night of the show, everything came up. Piles of clothes just flying back on again.
You've got to. It's the law.
Yeah, but end of show, I can't recall all the stuff that they used to do at the end of tours in the early days. Was the itching powder on the drum skins.
Mm.
I remember the one, I can't even remember which band it is, but they were Edgware Road, where the big hotel is, where the flyover used to be a theatre, and had a terrible rake on the stage, and the grand piano was attached to the back wall with a wire, and they cut it.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this story.
The guy followed it all the way to the pit.
I've got a grand piano story about Poland. We're playing outdoors in a football stadium in Poland, and the local promoter has forgotten to bring a grand piano. On the rider as a grand piano, which is quite a big thing to forget. So, at about 3 o'clock, we're in terrible, we're about to do the sound check. I think I got a call. I was the band leader, and I got a call. We haven't got a grand piano. Oh, okay. Well, don't nothing to do with me. We'll just manage. No. We know there's a grand piano at the local concert hall. We're going to go get it. Okay. So, they somehow got hold of the local Polish wrestling team. They grabbed hold of an old vegetable lorry. They just sort of, what do you call it, commandeered it, drove into the concert hall and tried to explain to the janitor, or the Jobsworth, that they had to have this piano. And of course the Jobsworth said, "Don't be silly, you can't have the grand piano. This is the concert hall. This is the Steinway grand piano. Of course you can't have it." So they tied the janitor up and left him in a broom cupboard. In went the wrestlers, grabbed the grand piano, put it on the vegetable lorry, and took it back, and we did the gig.
I thought it was only the Italians that could actually miss grand pianos off at riders.
Oh yeah, the Italians are wonderful, aren't
Make it up as they go.
We had a police escort, and people just couldn't. It had a blue light on it, one of those little fizz. The blue light's kind of and people were just passing this police car, cutting him up. Just no notice at all. We've done better without him. They were in a big truck, or in a big bus. They're dreadful, aren't they? Italian promoters.
We had a late show in Nuremberg once. Jerry Lee Lewis, just because he spent an hour trying to figure out how we got the grand piano in his dressing room, because there was no way. The dressing room had to be built around it. It was a huge grand in a small dressing room with a small door. And he just couldn't. He just walked around it for hours. He was.
Smart boy, was he, Jerry?
Oh, unbelievable. He'd come up to me in corridors and say, I'm the killer, and throw this punch at them. But he was, I guess the story I have to tell is the Deutsche Museum. Been on the road with him for a month, and he's just weird. But the only thing I had to do for him, as I was tour manager, you know, from the promoter's side, because he had nothing, I mean, the whole band was, apart from Ken Lovelace, none of the others were really musicians, you know. Ken Lovelace's ex-wife was still singing backup. It was really like, you know, really strange.
Yeah.
So the only thing I had to do with him was give him a bottle of scotch before the show. We go to the Deutsche Museum, there's 2 shows. No, I'm not going to give him that bottle of scotch, I'm going to forget. So I didn't give him the bottle of scotch, and to keep him cool between the shows, Cookie from the Star Club had come in to sort of, you know, coming in, you know, have a chat. Unfortunately, Cookie gave him some downers, which didn't go down too well. I then give him the scotch. I then go into the other dressing room where the rest of the band was to find Ken Lovelace by the musician, so out of it that I thought he was playing.
Yeah.
He couldn't stand up. And I'm going, oh God, this is crazy, you know. So I just went out to take his vocals out. He just cannot pitch. There's nothing, you know. Just let him play. I took away the lead to the fiddle. I just because you know, it just wouldn't happen. So in the meantime, I'm now watching him. Jerry's come out, and he had this wonderful thing where, when he was ready, he would enter the stage. Band would stop in the middle of the number, whatever. They just collapse at the end of the number. He walked to the piano, start, and they'd all catch up again.
Okay.
So, brilliant entry, really. You know. So he gets on and he plays 2 songs, and he goes, because he's had the downers, he's gone suddenly seriously country. So, if you know the Deutsche Museum, it's a very low stage, so there's 2 security guys either side, and somebody in the audience starts to shout and boo, and he turns around to this German audience and says, look, you paid your money, shut up or get out. So, security guard in his sideline is laughing. He's, you know, well, so he gets up from the piano, walks over and does his "I'm the killer" punch, and the guy's going, he didn't hit me. What happened? They all start to boo. He leaves. Well, I get all the band up apart from Lovelace, who's still playing. Drag him off, bolt the doors, and we got Cookie to go and talk to the audience. They stayed there 20 minutes before we could get him back on. Nobody left. We talked him into going back on. He plays one number, one country song. Oh no, here we go. And there's a bit in the audience start to boo, and there's people behind hitting them, making them shut up.